Carboni's Pizzeria wants to fuel your Game 5 playoff party tonight. Visit one of their 30-plus locations to enjoy delicious pizza and get ready for the playoff run. Find your nearest Carboni's today at carbonispizza.com.
Kennedy, I mentioned during the first hour that artificial intelligence said when they were queried about the mock draft, said no of the so-called top draft experts or top draft websites correctly guessed the first 5 picks in the National Football League draft, and they all got the free card, right? The get out of jail free card, the bingo. Everybody knew Mendoza was going first. So all of these people that are basically saying, this is who they're going to draft, nobody could get the first 5 picks correct. The closest was the mock draft. We got 3 out of the 5. So that's amazing. Brilliant. You know, when it's mocking the mock draft and just rubes. But time now for 5-3-4 here.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Brought to you by Willow River Company. Question number 1. Grade the trade.
Ooh, what trade?
Yeah, Friday night, the Vikings traded edge rusher Jonathan Grenard and a 7th-round pick to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for Philadelphia's 3rd-round compensatory pick, number 98 overall, and a 2027 3rd-rounder. Common?
Grade the trade.
Much like grading the draft, guessing what teams will select what players in the draft is an exercise in futility. I bought into the Vikings explanation to a certain extent. You know, they said it's like, you know, there are other factors, including there's money, the universal language.
Yeah.
You know,
Business.
Their business. It's a business decision. They're up against the cap, and they like Grenard. He did miss a lot of the season last year because of an injury, right? That means he won't come back 100% healthy, but can't pay everybody. He's good. I think what basically it comes down to is I'm sure B-Flow is confident and the team is confident. We can mix and match. We can cover. We can replace him. You know, it might not be the exact same player, but we'll be able to figure out a way to match his productivity with another player there. So, you know, I think it was Brzezinski who said it. Maybe it was Brzezinski or O'Connell, and I like the way they said it. It was like, we're not happy here. It's not like we're jumping up and down going, this is great. We didn't really want to lose him, but that's why they kept it open. And I'm sure they if he would have said, I'm happy with the money you're paying me now. I mean, it's pretty good money, but can he make it last? He probably didn't think he could. And he wanted more, and if that's what he wants, that's who might argue with him. So they did want to keep him, and they said it doesn't make the team better in the short term, but maybe in the long run it will. So I don't know. I guess they had to. I'm like the team. I wish they would have kept Grenard. He's very good. He's been terrific for this team the past couple of years. So, and again, he missed quite a bit of the season last year, I think, or a few games anyway. I don't remember exactly how many, but yeah, it's the way it goes, I guess.
Question number 2. Funk or junk?
I don't remember this one. Is this new?
It's brand new. Just debuted.
Can you play it again? I love this.
Funk or junk?
Love it. Funk or junk?
Yeah, the Twins were swept for the second time in their past 3 series, losing 4-2 yesterday in Tampa Bay. Minnesota has lost 5 in a row, their longest losing streak of the season. And the Twins were outscored 16-5 over their 3-game stretch at Tropicana Field. Common, are the Twins in a
funk or junk?
I think they're right where they're supposed to be, is what I think. I'm sure Tommy Pohlad was so excited when they went on that. They won like 7 or 8 and 9, and they swept the Tigers. Because remember when the over/under was established by the sportsbooks in Lost Wages, that it was, it was like 72 or 73, 74 wins, depending upon which sportsbook. He was just appalled. He said it was preposterous. And it kind of looked like maybe they were. They were in first place. They had the best record in the American League at 10-7. Now they've lost. Did you say it was 8 of 9?
8 of 9, yeah.
There was one note that I saw in one of the, I think it might have been, it was either the Athletic or the Fish Wrap. I never can keep track of where it was. And give me, I'm sorry about this. I saved it to my phone. Here it is. This is the stat that sticks out more than anything to me, Timmy. The Twins are hitting 171. That's 13 for 76 with runners on second or third base in the last 9 games. Let me repeat that. Twins' batting average is 171. That's 13 for 76 with runners on second or third in their last 9 games. And they posted a 1-8 record in that span. That's not a coincidence. Before that, the Twins hit 314, 49 of 156 with runners in scoring position in their first 19 games. And if you remember in those first 19 games, I remember they were 10-7 at one point. So I don't know if the losing streak then started, but at one time they were 10. So when you drive runners in from second and third base, like we clutch hitting with runners in scoring position, RISP we call it, you have a tendency to win more games that way. When you bat 171 with RISP, while in RISP, you're going to lose games, and that's why that team is 13 for 76. I looked at one of the power rankings, and Twins are like 26, and I'm like, man, there must be some awful bad teams out there if they're not even at rock bottom. I think Philly and Boston just fired Cora. The players are bitter about it. Well, then play better and your manager won't get fired. I mean, I get it. I mean,
he's the fall guy.
He's the fall guy. And, you know, there was one quote from one player, maybe a couple, that said, well, what are you doing? You know, it's not Cora. This is one of the best manager coaching groups in all of baseball. Now, the results aren't there. So like you say, you got to have a fall guy, but that's what I would tell the team. We'll play better and your manager won't get fired. I still think there's hope that we could get to that 32nd spot in Major League Baseball, Tennessee. I really do. Is it 30 teams in baseball or 32? I think it's 30.
30. We
can get to that 30th spot because if you can't be historically good, what would we like you to be, Tennessee?
Biblically bad.
Correct.
We're only 3.3 wins out of it.
Yeah, so there's still time, and now I don't even know who we have now. We just finished up getting swept by Tampa Bay. Yeah. And now I don't know who's next up on our schedule. I don't recall. I looked, but I don't remember. It's one of 29 teams. Well, no, they're not playing Tampa again.
It's hard to get super excited.
Yeah, so it's one of 28.
They host Seattle.
And the Blues.
3-game series starting tonight.
Yeah, so there you go. But we'll see. So that runners in scoring position is key. And, of course, the bullpen their starting pitching isn't half bad. It's not like every starter has a great start every time, but that's not their weak point right now.
No.
It's just not. It's their bullpen, and then their offense is just ice cold.
Inconsistent.
Again. Yes.
Question number 3.
It's now time to take an in-depth look at the welfare of the Wolves.
Nikola Jokic was fined $50,000. Julius Randle was fined $35,000 for their roles in an altercation between the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves at the end of Saturday's Game 4 in Minneapolis. Common, what'd you think of that final sequence of Game 4, and do you agree with these punishments?
Well, my first observation was, had Joker shown the amount of hustle during the first 4 games as he did going down the floor to confront McDaniels, they might be up 3-1. I had no idea he was such a statue defensively. I mean, he's just, and you know, somebody suggested, maybe it was on this radio station, that, well, he can't get in foul trouble because if he does, without him on the floor, that's, I mean, I know they get contributions from Murray and Braun and Gordon, but he's their offense. He's their triple-double machine, you know, so, I don't know. There is an unwritten rule, and, you know, sometimes we talk about those unwritten rules. Why are they unwritten rules? You know, like in baseball, you have to throw at the guy. If they plunk one of your guys, your pitchers, he just has to. That's just the unwritten rule. He's got to throw at your guy. There's these unwritten rules. Maybe hockey has some too when it comes to fighting. I don't know how it works. But you're not supposed to, when the other team has conceded, which they did, the other team has the ball and they're dribbling it out, you're supposed to just dribble it out.
Yeah.
And McDaniel, because he's a gadfly, it's obvious. I mean, he called out Denver, you know, day before the game, or right after they won to go up 2-1. He basically said they're a terrible defensive team. And then he named every player by name. I mean, he didn't just say the whole team. He started naming players. So you know he's a gadfly. He decided to bank it off the glass and score. There was a difference of opinion between Shaq and Charles. And I don't know if they disagree just to disagree or if they both feel that way. Barkley thought it was the wrong thing to do. He said, if I'd have done that, I'd expect someone to come and clock me, basically is what he said. Shaq said, play the game till the end or whatever he said. And I tend to think you don't score there, but it's not that big of a deal, right? You know? And then Joker, that's just pure frustration. He's so bitter. He just cannot believe the game is going the way it is. And I know, I can see why he took offense to it, because that's just that you don't see that happen very often that I can recall. I don't ever see it in an NBA game. Maybe it's happened before, but usually when the other team waves the white flag, they go the anti-Dido on it, then the other team just dribbles it out. So,
which I agree with, but the funny thing is, the internet always finds everything.
Yeah,
there was footage within the last couple of years of Jamal Murray doing the exact same thing in a playoff series. Okay. Where he was shooting at 3 unnecessarily at the end of a game.
Okay. Yeah, then that's wrong too. So the fine's meaningless.
Oh yeah.
I mean, $50,000. I mean, can he make that last? I mean, that's just.
Well, I'm glad nobody got ejected, or not that he didn't get ejected. They got ejected, but that they didn't get
suspended.
Well, because people were throwing that out there. I'm like, that's not worth a suspension.
Well, not only that, you're just not going to. You might do it in the regular season, but you're not going to do it in the play.
No.
You're not going to suspend Joker right now. No. With the team down 3-1. You're not going to, you would have to do something really egregious.
That's not worthy of it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, even if it was, regular season.
Well, if he goes down there and throws a punch, you have to suspend him.
Regular season, they might have done it. I doubt it, but they could have. But you certainly don't do it in the playoffs, because that would just, Denver's chances are slim to none anyways. And then if you take Joker's, the Wolves could probably win without Randall. Hell, if they can win without DiVincenzo and Ant, they can win without, but, Joker, even with them, I don't. And we'll see. Maybe without DiVincenzo and Ant, they're just not as good a team. I know they were brilliant in the second half.
The offense is not going to be as consistent.
I don't think it will.
They were on a heater the other night, but to expect that to be consistently without those two,
that's
asking a lot.
That's what I agree with. But that being said, here someone says Denver lost that right to the unwritten rule when Jamal Murray shot a pointless 3 2 seconds sooner. That's from Shane and Shakopee, and I respect your opinion, and it takes a lot. If I can guarantee you, if the shoe was on the other foot, had that been the Wolves shooting a meaningless 3-pointer with 2 seconds, you're down. You shoot anyways.
Yeah.
And if somebody would have done that to if Joker would have done that to the Wolves, he wouldn't be texting me the same thing. I guarantee you. It's just not. Come on. Just say either.
I don't like to say. I wasn't offended by Jamal Murray shooting that.
Yeah, I wasn't either. And I said, I don't think you should, but it's not the end of the world. It's the last shot. It's when you're up. So, whatever you want to do. That's just, Wolves fans loved it. And so they want to say it was the right thing to do. And they're going to agree with that. If it happens, let's say when they play their next game, let's say Denver wins at Denver, and they probably will do it too. Somebody with 2 seconds left will shoot it. What do you think the Wild Wolves fans are going to say then? Oh, you thought it was bad when you did it to it. When we did it to you, now we do it to you. That's what you're going to say. So just admit it. It's sad, really. We'll pause. We'll come back with a little Distat Lat here on the Fan. And by the way, 534 brought to you by the Willow River Company. Don't just maintain your property, experience it with the Willow River Experience monthly subscription plan, which I have. You can bundle 5 core services, 3 seasonal upgrades, and 4 custom add-ons into one simple plan. Visit willowrivercompany.com today to build your 534 experience.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword cash at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is cash. Enter now at KFAN.com. The radio home of Minnesota sports is also on YouTube. Check out the KFAN YouTube channel for exclusive videos, in-depth takes, initials and password games, and behind-the-scenes content. Search KFAN on YouTube and hit subscribe today.
It's also the radio home of the Radio Romeo. That's me. He's 10 to be. We are here until 3. Mark Rosen living stress-free in Tuscany. Somebody looped me in on that one.
I saw that.
What did he? He took a picture of Tuscany and said something. When you have a view. I don't know what he said, but something he's stressed. He's got a lot of stress.
I can tell you what he said.
When you think of Mark Rosen's life, in the world he lives in. You talk about, if you thought T-Hut had the stress of both worlds, playing in the NBA and trying to be a rap star, think of the stress that Mark Rosen goes through. He needed to get to Tuscany because the stress that he lives in day in and day out back here in Minnesota it's remarkable. He's able to even maintain.
He said the view in Tuscany does allow a true exhale from all of our stress.
He's got the stress of not just all sorts of worlds.
Can you think of anyone who has less stress than him?
There's nobody else anymore. He's retired. He and his wife are very well to do, and there's nothing wrong with it. Just be proud of that. They've both done very well in their lives, and they're flying first class to and from Italy and enjoying he had the finest meal he ever had yesterday, and before that it was the finest. Every meal was better than the meal he had before. Yeah, I don't think he's under a lot of stress. It's crazy. I get all sorts of text messages of people that are sticking up for the Wolves or McDaniels. And let me be perfectly clear. I just think it's meaningless. I don't even care. I just roll my eyes, shrug my shoulder, and shake my head. But I guarantee you, every person that texted me, if that would have been reverse the roles and the Wolves let's say they can't because the Wolves are up 3-1. Let's say Murray would have done that, and that would have put the Nuggets up 3-1. They'd be furious right now. You know you would. Just admit it. Just admit you'd be furious. But you like the fact that we're up 3-1 because I think a lot of Wolves fans going into this series were a little leery because of the way we'd played and with Ant's knee, how it was, and as good as Denver had been. Denver had come in on a 12-0 roll, I think. And so I think there were some people that were like, oh, man, it's going to be a dicey series. And now that we're dominating, up 3-1, the defense is back to playing the kind of defense they're capable of. And we did so even without the help of DiVincenzo for the entire game, other than the first 45 seconds, and Ant for the entire second half. And I don't remember when he went out in the first half. So you're just so excited and delighted right now. And you can complain all you want, but you're just being a baby. No, you would be, just admit it. You'd be furious right now if it happened on the other. If you put the size 13, 14 Chuck Taylor tennis shoe on the other foot. There are all sorts of unwritten rules in sports. Baseball, let me see if you've heard these.
What's the king of the sport?
Do not bunt to break up a no-hitter. That's an unwritten rule. Now, there's some people say that's silly. Well, no, you just don't. You don't lay down a bunt to break up a no-hitter. Do not admire a home run for too long with a bat flip. Throw it in the air and just stare at and flex.
That's my fun. Yeah, that one's hilarious to me.
Players are doing it, but I don't think they should either. I think it's silly. It's like it's not that big. People hit home runs all the time. Tend to be, I don't know if the stat's available. Maybe you could Google it. How many home runs have been hit in the history of Major League Baseball? There have been hundreds of thousands, maybe millions. It's like, so you hit a home run. We're happy for you. I mean, like, the club is my brush, the ball is my paint, the course. Every time I hit a really great shot, I don't just start fist ball. I don't flip the club in the air and then start admiring it. You just go, yeah, that's what I do.
I agree with you, but I also think it's hilarious that the pitchers get so offended by it. Like, just who cares? Why are you so bothered by it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not speaking for the pitcher. I just think it's silly to do it. I just think
I'm agreeing with you that I think it's silly to do it, but the unwritten rule is you don't do it because then the next time you're up, the pitcher's going to throw at you. It's like you shouldn't be that upset.
But you're not supposed to show up the other team. It
happens in every sport.
I know, but that's why there are those unwritten rules where you shouldn't do it. It's changed now. Because people don't care about decorum anymore. The kids don't care. They don't have any unwritten rules, especially when they're the ones breaking the unwritten rules. Do not steal bases when your team is comfortably ahead. Same thing. Don't. Now, I know what you're saying. Hold the guy on base then. Okay. I mean, you can say that, and you're right. But there are just certain rules that have been around for a long time that I think it's basic decorum of the game.
How's the bat flip any different than Byron Buxton walking around doing his little truck thing?
I don't think he should do the truck thing either. I think the truck thing is silly. Do not swing at a 3-0 pitch when leading by a large margin. I tend to believe that as well. You're up 12-2. You're in the 8th inning. It's 3-0. Why swinging? Let the guy walk you or throw a strike and hit it the next one. Basketball, they have 2. 1, do not shoot in the final seconds if the game is already decided. There it is. It's right there for you. And every Wolves fan out there that loved what McDaniels did would have been bitter had Murray done it or any other any other nugget to put them up 3 games to 1. The other one is avoid full court pressing when leading by 20-plus points in the second half. I don't think they do that in the NBA, but like in high school basketball or college, you don't. You just, once you're up by that much, you just back off. Matter of fact, they have that rule in travel basketball. I'm almost certain they do. I remember that. Like if you're up a certain amount of points, if you try to press them, the ref will say, move back. You can't do that because you're not there to humiliate the other team, right? Especially at that level. You're not there, at travel basketball, humiliate the other team. Football. Do not run up the score excessively. Do not pass the ball in the final minutes when leading by multiple touchdowns. Do not hit the star quarterback in practice. That'll get you benched.
Yeah.
That might even get you released. But those other two I agree with. But there are, according to these fans, the ones that are texting me, then they wouldn't have a problem if somebody ran up the score on the Vikings. They don't care. I guess some people just don't care about unwritten rules. And you know what? They always say unwritten rules are made to be broken, right? And so if you do, that's fine. And I'm not offended by it. I just think it's silly. I just think you're showing up the other team. It's the same thing that you see, like hockey's really notorious for this. We've seen guys, they're intentionally trying to hurt another player. It's happened over the years, right? I'm going to slam this kind of. Well, no, you think about it. So what you're doing is you want to win so badly, and you think it's so important to win a silly game, and I know it's because it's the Cup, that you're willing to endanger somebody's health, welfare, and livelihood. They're your brethren. They might be on the other team, but you're all part of the National Hockey League. And you would really do that to a guy? Really? That's part of your fiber? What a Richard. You just don't do that. There's nothing wrong. Good hard body check. Good legal checks are fine. But when you start crossing that line, same thing in the fight game. If you're hitting rabbit punching, hitting below the belt, use your laces to try to scrape the guy's face, those are things headbutt. You don't do that in the fight game. You just don't. That's why they take away points. Referee will actually take away points at that time. He'll warn you the first time. He'll take you to the side and he will go, do not use your head. And then if you headbutt him again, generally the second, sometimes the ref will let it go a little longer, but a lot of times at that point, he'll stop, he'll look at each judge, and he'll hold his finger. 1 point, 1 point, 1 point deducted from your card. So if that fighter was to win that round 10-9, it's now a 9-9 round. If he was going to lose 10-9, it's a 10-8 round, and that can mean that can change the entire outcome of the fight. Never touch the opposing team's flag, trophy, or championship gear. I didn't know about that.
Or step on their logo.
Do not complain to the referee when you know you committed a foul. Well, that one is broken every single game. Let's break. Let's come back with a little dis-dat-lat here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Yeah, this is Wild Today brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. The Wild were down a goal late in the third period when this happened.
Across the green, Faber taps to Sturm. Sturm charging in with a wrister. Blocker save Oettinger. Foligno jabbed at it. He scores! Marcus Foligno ties the game with 5:20 to go!
Foligno ties it, goes to OT, then Boldy.
A puck battle here over the left shoulder of Oettinger. Boldy trying to stab it free. Bumped by Myers again. Racing to a Kaprizov. Up high for Spurgeon. Spurgeon a shot. They score! Matt Boldy tips it in! Matt Boldy wins it in overtime! The Wild win Game 4, 3-2, and we've got a series. It's all knotted up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, Joe O'Donnell with the call on the Fan, like he said. 3-2 win for the Wild. They even that series with Dallas 2-2. And as they prepare for Game 5 in Dallas tomorrow night, they got some good news today. Both Matt Zuccarello and Jakob Trenyon practiced today. Head coach John Hines said that Zuccarello practicing is, quote, a good sign for playing in Game 5. Trenyon is still considered questionable. Wild and Stars, Game 5 tomorrow night, 7 p.m. start in Dallas. You'll be able to hear that game right here on the Fan. That was Wild Today, brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. You can buy tickets to Guys and Dolls at chanhassendt.com. Bonus Bucks is back on KFAN. We have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. That's every hour from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. To enter the keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com. Bonus Bucks is presented by BigDeck.com.
Couple 13-14 pass here on the Common Man program. I'm Common. He's Tennessee. Gophers played their spring game. There was so much going on regarding the Wolves and the Wild. Needless to say, it probably didn't get the kind of attention that it probably should have, because, you know, spring game is one of my favorite events every year. And I thought I saved the story because I found it interesting. Where did it go? Give me the music. Maybe I didn't. Well, now I'm a little annoyed. Keep it going. I'll just go to the. I can't be perfect, Tennessee. I mean, it's like I thought I saved it. I gave it every effort I could.
I mean, you only had the whole entire commercial break to find it, so.
Yeah, but I didn't know I was going to go in that direction.
Oh.
Plus, I'm doing live ads. I got to focus on getting the right copy, saying it the correct way. I mean, it's important for me to make sure. Put it this way, the live ad is more important than what's up in the next segment. And I think the numbers prove that. Boy, this happened a long time ago. 5 takeaways from Gopher spring football. Drake Lindsay played well in limited action as the Gold team defeated the Maroon team 31-7. Capping the what Gophers coach P.J. Fleck called the hardest spring we've ever had. And not meaning that it was difficult, but just...
I always loved that one.
This is what he said. This has been the hardest spring we've ever had. We don't practice longer than 95 minutes. That was not the case. 120 minutes was the norm. This team handled the spring ball better than respectively anybody I've ever had. This was a lot of heavy football, like real football, and I thought our guys handled it very well, and we got better. All right. And, you know, again, PJ's not alone, but he seems to be, he's not a glass half full guy. He's a glass is overflowing kind of a guy. Everything is always great with the team. Our recruiting was great. Our NIL was great. Our regular season was great. Everything, even when they lose, there are things to learn from the game. I've said this before. Says Lindsay looks solid in limited time. He led the Gold on a touchdown on its opening drive and a field goal on its second possession for a 10-0 lead. Is that because the offense was running like a well-oiled machine, or is their defense really bad? See, that's always the problem in these spring games, is when you're playing against yourself, when your offense is playing your defense and your defense is playing your offense. And if your offense shines, is it because now it's possible the defense is real solid and the offense is so good, they've made such strides. I don't know how they can make that many strides when the season ended and they haven't played at all or practiced until recently, but they're that good that it's our defense is really is good too. Our offense was that good. Or if your defense shuts down it's hard for me to put any stock into it at all, especially when you're talking about Big Ten football. But nonetheless, they played the game. 2,500 people showed up for spring game, and I'm not sure if that was that's a good crowd or not, but that's how many who showed up. The other hockey team in town, Tennessee, the Frost, they're headed into postseason play now as well, right? They will face top-seeded Montreal Victory. Is that the name?
I don't even know the pronunciation.
Victoire. The Victory. The Montreal Victory. I like the nickname. It's different. It's
looks like it's Victoire.
What? Say that again.
Victoire.
And does that mean victory?
It's French for victory. Yeah.
Victory. It's a little. That's very optimistic.
Well, let's find the French word for loss, because that's going to be their nickname after this series is over.
Wait, hold on. Give yourself a rim shot, would you please? I got one for you too. Hey, we doubled up on that rim shot. given their choice of opponent, how do you say it again? Can you try that one more time?
Victoire.
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 VEEK.
The
hyphen TWAHR. Victoire.
Given their choice of opponent, the Victoire chose to face the third-seeded defending Walter Cup champions, who've not beaten Montreal in 4 meetings this year. The matchup was announced April 26th. The PWHL allows its number 1 overall seed to select either the number 3 seed or the number 4 seed to play in the first round of the playoffs. That means the Victoire, who only clinched the number 1 seed by winning in a shootout on Seattle last Saturday on the final regular season, could have their pick between the 2-time defending Frost and the 4-seeded Ottawa Charge, who clinched a playoff spot earlier in the day. Ottawa will face the 2nd-seeded Boston Fleet. Montreal opted to face the number 3 seed last season as well, but they fell 3-1 to the Charge in their semifinal matchup. The Frost then beat Ottawa in 5 games for their 2nd consecutive Walter Cup. Notably, no PWHL team with home ice advantage has ever won a playoff series. I did not know that. Let me read that again. No PWHL team with home ice advantage has ever won a playoff series. The Victoire, 16 wins, 6 overtime wins, 2 OT losses, 6 regulation losses, beat the Frost in all 4 of the team's regular season meetings, twice in OT. Frost enter on a 4-game losing streak, though they clinch a spot in the playoffs with 6 games left in the regular season. Now, we've seen the Frost do that before. The Frost, this is the 3rd season of the PWHL, right? And they've won both world championships.
Yes.
So they're going for a three-peat. I think we've talked about the getting to pick your team. You like that, don't you?
Yes.
You think it's fun. Where else do they do that you said it was done somewhere?
Well, it was done like some sort of like European
soccer league,
hockey league.
Hockey, okay.
It's not as great with when there's, they only have 4 teams in the playoffs in the PWHA, so it's not as.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, imagine in the NHL this year where the Colorado Avalanche get to pick their opponents. Now they still might have landed on the Kings anyway.
Yeah.
But.
Well, and you're right. This is only 4, but what I do like, it adds a little. If you want to call it bulletin board material. Oh, you wanted us, did you? Oh, you thought we were an easier out, huh? Because that's what you're basically saying, right?
Yeah.
You say, we think we have a better chance to beat you than we other, unless what I would do. Now, see, if I was the other team, let's say I'm the Victoire. If I'm the Victoire, what I do is I say, tell you what we're going to do. I put the names of both teams in this hockey helmet. We're going to draw one out, and whoever we get, that's who we're going to, because
we don't care.
It don't matter to us. Now, after they drew the name out and said Frost, I would say, let me see that other piece of paper. Let me see if you had Frost on both of those. But that's what you do. It's like, we don't care who we play. Matter of fact, you know what? I'd get really cocky and I'd say, you know what? Why don't you just take both teams and make one roster? The best from both those, and we'll play them. And we'll let them play all the games at home. That's how much confidence we have. I saw another note about the club. Was it about Panic?
Leading the league in points?
Yeah, leading the league in points. That's nice.
And she wasn't even thought to be like the, biggest playmaker, goal scorer on the team.
She set a league record with 33 points. And, so good for her, good for our club. Tenneby, I don't know if you're breaking down the PWHL as closely as you do the NHL, but I don't know, until they beat us, we're the champs, right? You got to unseat the champs. So I like our chances.
It's a little bit of a different Frost team than the last 2 years because they had the expansion draft this last year. So the Frost lost, especially a couple blue liners from, what made them so good in the playoffs the last 2 years was just defensively and goaltending. They were terrific and big time challenge to score on them. This year's team all of a sudden has been an offensive juggernaut. They lead the league. They have 13 more goals, more than any other team in the league, which the next team would be the Montreal Victoire. So So they've been a little bit more higher scoring, but giving up more goals than they are accustomed. But they clearly have a core that knows how to win and knows how to play a playoff style of hockey. So they might just be like the PWHL version of the Timberwolves are like, let's just coast through the regular season, but then we'll put it together come playoff time. Maybe that's them. Maybe that's their DNA. Now the Montreal team they're facing is also the best, most stingiest defensively. So it's going to be strength on strength in this series of the best offensive team versus the best defensive team.
The best offense is a great No, is it a great offense? What's that?
The best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, is that what they say? Best defense is a good offense. So maybe that's.
If you spend all your time in the offensive zone, then you don't have to play defense.
Somebody texted me back, and it says it was Game 4 in which the Wild had back-to-back playoffs and couldn't score. Did I also see? Was this the last game, or was it? Maybe it was the game. There was during one of these games, Dallas on a 5-on-5. You know, where we're supposed to be better than that. They had it in our end.
That was last game.
That was like 10
5
minutes. It seemed like 10. It was at 5 minutes. We could not get the puck. And I remember it's LaPanta's basically doing the old, we can't get our guys off the ice for a break. The guys can't leave. Now, you explain something to me, Tenneby, because you're the hockey guy. How does that happen? You would think just by the luck of swatting the puck away, even if you throw it for an icing, how do you not be? How can one team keep it in the zone for that long of a period of time?
Well, if you ice it, you can't change your players.
Okay.
So you tend to see this more often in the second period because that's when you have to make the long change. You're further away from your bench to make changes, so it's more challenging. Once you're out there for minute and a half in your own zone, you're gassed, you're tired.
Right.
And now the other team, and because it's the second period, Dallas's bench is right next to the offensive zone.
Sure.
So now they're making changes and putting out their top players against guys that are tired. So this happens more than you think, just not to this. This was a whole nother level. 5 minutes, without.
It was like they were on the power play.
Yeah, without your goaltender, Well, the thing is despite the fact they're in your zone for 5 straight minutes, they really didn't get a quality chance out of it. They got some shots, but they stayed on the perimeter the whole time. So, the Wild, there comes a point in hockey, there's a reason their shifts are, other than Quinn Hughes and Kirill Kaprizov, your shifts are like 45 seconds because your legs start to lock up on you when you've been out there too long. And if you have teammates that aren't moving and they just get to the point where you're just trying to keep everything to the outside and you're hoping for something lucky to happen. But the second period, Wild got completely outplayed. Dallas, they were lucky to almost just get out of that just down a goal.
The Professional Women's Hockey League also lets players out of the penalty box if you score shorthanded, which is cool.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I wonder why they decided to go that route. Do you like that rule?
Sure.
Do you think it should be like that in the National Hockey League?
I mean, it's non-conventional.
Right.
But I kind of like that, you're getting rewarded for, now as a league, you are trying to get your players to play more offensive-minded, which is what the fans like, right? So when you're shorthanded, I got a chance to score here. I got to go try to take advantage of that instead of just dump the puck in, get a line change. Let's try to score here so I can get our teammate out of the box.
I'm about to suggest something controversial.
That's interesting.
I've often thought this watching basketball. Instead of free throws,
a penalty box.
You play 5-on-4.
Yeah.
You think Joker would flop then? How much flopping do you think we'd see in the NBA if they were calling fouls?
How long are the penalties?
I don't. Well, no. If you're flopping, then the foul is called on the other team. Yeah, you want to flop, but that would probably increase flopping. I don't know how long it would be. Would it be?
Unless you get a double minor for getting a flopping.
But then
you make the penalty more severe.
But then you have to determine if he's really flopping. You got to make a judgment call. But usually you can tell, but not always. Yeah, I just don't think it's
in the end of games, you'd have a lot of people in the penalty box.
Yeah, well, that's true. And it's probably not workable to play 5-on-4 in hoops.
Well, and fans are already annoyed with refs to begin with because it's so hard to call the game. And then if they're missing calls and you're getting punished with it with a 5-on-4, they'd get even more crazy. I guess they wouldn't, though, because it's free throws.
Yeah, if you watch basketball, there are some teams that look like they're only playing 4 guys. Sometimes it just looks like it's 5-on-4 when it's really not.
They get like a 5-on-3 out there if they have 2 fouls in one possession.
how many holding calls you think there'd be in the NFL if it was like holding? They'll play 11 on 10 now. I'm telling you, man. I think penalties would shrink. Instead of yardage, you lose a play. So all of a sudden,
I mean, for the Vikings on offense, I felt like we were playing 10 on 11 most of the year. We're going to get better quarterback play because we've really improved that room. Kyle Murphy's going to add to it, and J.J. McCarthy's going to be a stud.
That Denver team defensively looks like chairs, in case you didn't know that. I mean, think about it. So down 10 to be, you get holding. How come they don't call clipping anymore? Do they still call clipping? It's just called something else now? Is that the block behind the back, or what is it? Or is that a chop block?
I'm assuming, yeah. I don't know.
Because it used to be clipping. Back when I played football, that was a penalty. So let's say you commit back-to-back penalties. Now you're going 11 on 9. I mean, you may be 11 on 6 on a clock.
You're going to send some guys deep on that one, yeah.
Yeah, well, and then I guess it's like when you score a goal and they pull the guy out of the penalty box, right? I guess it'd be the same. You score a tutty, you got to let him go back to 11 on 11. I don't say you cannot do that, but... on
football, you just have them do it for a play.
Yeah, just maybe one play. So let me ask you a question regarding the Wild and Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't suppose... I think I asked you this last week. As you're playing, I guess you can tweak your lines, right? We see that happen. When Zook went out, we changed like 3 different lines. But just as far as like strategies go between the Wild and the Stars, is there any? I mean, it's been about as even a series as you can get, right? We've been better on the 5-on-5. Our penalty kill and our power play just hasn't been able to stand up to Dallas's, but we're still tied at 2 games apiece. Is there anything, if you're the coach of both clubs, let's go with the Wild and the Stars, is there anything you do differently? Or just say, let's just keep playing like we're playing, and let the best team win, or is there nothing they can do?
I mean, personnel-wise, I do think, especially with Zuccarello coming back, the interesting decision will be who do you take out? Because Bobby Brink, to begin the series, was considered the 13th guy. Now, when Brink has stepped in on the first line or stepped in on the power play, I'm not a big fan. But I thought he played pretty well third period and overtime of Game 4. And I thought he showed a little confidence in his line with Hartman and Johansson when they were put together was actually doing something. There's guys like Tarasenko's been a complete non-factor in this series. Now, he's a guy that a puck can pop on a stick and he can score instantly for you. So I wouldn't rule out him making a big play for you still at some point in the series. But for the most part, he can't keep up with the pace. Doesn't bring a physical element. Seems to be making just bad decisions with the puck. Nick Foligno hasn't been great. Urov hasn't been great. So, like I said, to start the series, Brink was out. I do wonder if maybe Brink stays in. Now, if Trenyon is in as well, that means 2 guys got to go out. But, Nico Sturm actually, I think, has played all right on that 4th line the last game or 2. And if Trenyon can't go, I would consider keeping him in. And I would actually probably take Tarasenko out, though. I don't think the Wild coaches will agree with that. So from a personnel standpoint, obviously Zuccarello on the power play will make a little bit of a difference because power play has just been an abject failure.
Right,
they're not even threatening on the power play. They can't even complete a couple passes together. You've had guys that are not in their proper positions that they're accustomed to being, and now they're overthinking things and they're not playing freely.
Is that because Zook's out?
Yes. Because they had Brink replacing him, but
right.
He wasn't replacing them in the same spot on the ice. And now you have a guy that hasn't been on the power play all season long that you don't know how to work with him, but you have guys that are now changing the spots they are on the power play. At some point, they got to get the puck down low on the power play and start attacking from the goal line as opposed to playing everything up top by the blue line. X's and O's standpoint, 5-on-5, I don't think it changed much. These teams know each other extremely well. And you're probably going to have a slight edge. It's just the special teams, and I'm guessing, I don't know how many more bullets John Hines has left in the chamber of how we stop their power play, right? Like, I don't know how many more X's and O's type changes you can make to that. They're at Game 4. I'm sure you've done all the adjustments you can make at this point.
Yeah.
But I do think our power play could make some adjustments to potentially make that a little bit better. 5-on-5, other than personnel, I don't think they're going to change a thing.
Yeah. And with Zooks, he's expected to play, right? Is that 100%?
He practiced it. Well, I wouldn't say 100%,
Okay.
but I think the words John Hines is it's looking good.
Okay. Now, was he lower or upper?
He was on the first power play unit at practice today, so he's playing.
Okay, so is he
He's
lower
playing.
or upper?
He was upper.
Okay. Here would be my only question. Did he just rub some Robitussin on it? In other words, it's still not good, but we got to play him because it's the cup. And then there's always that chance won't be as effective or he's susceptible to being re-injured. That's always right or not?
My guess is it's a concussion.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he messed with concussions.
All right.
It's been a week. This isn't like he had the concussion a day or two ago and we're going to throw him back out there. He's been out for a week. And, it's not a knee injury. We're like, all right, go out and play at 75%. I think the concussions, you make sure it's good before you go back.
if everybody's ready to go, the 5 and the number 1 power play unit is who?
The 5 guys?
Yeah.
Hughes, Kaprizov, Boldy, Eriksson Ek, Zuccarello.
Let's play. We'll take a break. We'll come back with a little Distat Lat, Common and 10 to be on the Common Man program on the Fan.